you guys, welcome back. Today we have a very, very special guest. We caught her just in the nick of time. We just caught her. She just got off the MTV Video Film Music Awards, all of the above.
Nice.
As you can see, we have the award right here. We caught her just in the nick of time just because she's actually about to fly to Venice. To go to the film festival over there with her sister. So I'm so glad we got the chance to catch up today.
Yes. I'm happy to be here.
Good. All right. So
I love these little mics, by the way.
I know. I just got them. Do you love them?
They're so convenient.
All right. So before we jump into all the chitter chatter, I want to have a little catch up. What's been going on?
Oh my gosh. In life or like in the film world?
Give me everything.
Everything or just a little bit?
So like obviously we know Interdimensional just won the MTV award.
Yeah.
How was that? The whole process? Casting, the filming.
Oh, yeah.
How long did the whole thing take?
Sure. Interdimensional, I think, has been in the works for years.
Mm-hmm.
Years. Because it's one of those movies where it's like, it'd be like an Avatar situation, you know what I mean? There's so much... not to like say the word, but there's so much dimensional things going on and you're in different dimensions and pun intended, yes. So trying to depict those different dimensions we knew was going to be somewhat of a challenge, because you want the third dimension to feel different than the fifth dimension and vice versa. So it was fun though, you know what I mean? Like writing it I think took the longest just because it somewhat follows my life and like who I am and you know the spiritual connection and the connection to the fifth dimension. So writing it definitely took the longest because I didn't know what to include but not to include and where to end it.
Yeah, well also it was like jam packed with all of these different people that I wouldn't have expected because I stayed in the dark for the whole time so I wouldn't be spoiled, so the spoiler wouldn't come.
Yeah.
So who was your favorite person to work with out of the whole film? I know everyone's probably amazing, but did you have a specific person that just
That's
really
so
loved?
Tough. Yeah. Obviously, you know, the person that plays the opposite of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, casting her was really, really tricky because she had to be so specific.
Yeah.
She had to embody these characteristics of this person. And because of that, you know, her and I had to get really close and we had to kind of talk it through and like figure out what we wanted, how we wanted it. And I say we because like it was such a collective performance from everybody. So yeah, I think working with her was really, really cool. And like you said, working with everybody is cool. It's so cool to see everybody on one accord coming together to make one film. And then we go and we win an MTV award.
How long, I know you've told me this story before, but I want you to say it on the podcast as well. How long have you been manifesting that?
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. Years. Yeah, it started off with a little Lego.
Mm-hmm.
It did. It started off with a little Lego, and I picked it up, and you know, my family was out of town, and I had picked it up, and I came home, and I watched Scream because it's my favorite franchise,
obviously, and
I built that Lego, and I put it on my desk, and it sat there forever. It felt like forever, and it didn't, but it sat there for a while, and it was really cool being able to look at it every single day and then coming here and winning one that won't replace the one on my desk because that one taught me manifestation.
Yeah.
But it'll get a cute little shelf next to it probably.
Well, obviously winning this is a very big deal. You have tons of people that were behind you, I know.
Yeah.
I want to just jump in real quick and talk about your partner.
Yeah.
What's her name again?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Alexis is my partner.
Obviously, beginning of this, I said you were I think you're heading out probably either tonight or early in the morning to go to Venice.
Yeah, it's a long
with your
flight.
sister, and obviously Alexis is off doing her own things. I know she is kind of doing her own makeup line. I know she's probably in production of a skincare line. All of that stuff. So she's doing her own thing, but how instrumental was her support through this whole thing?
That's a good question. You're good at this. It was, and probably always will be, one of the most important things to me. When I say that she is my muse, she is my muse. I Interdimensional just follows that love story, and it's like the epic true love story. And so because of that, to have the person who inspired that movie with me by my side 100%, early mornings, late nights, and the film industry is grueling and it takes a lot out of people. Mm-hmm. And you can lose yourself in it so quickly. So for me, it meant the world that she was just there the whole time. She didn't complain. She had her own things going on, like you mentioned. She's doing so many other things. So for her to make herself present for me in that moment, it meant the world. I mean, I can do anything with her by my side.
Well, exactly. So it kind of bouncing off of that, how do you, obviously, like you said, filming is a grueling process. Like I can't even imagine. But yeah, it is. How do you switch that off right when you get off set? Like, you know who you're going home to, you know who's waiting for you, your family, Alexis, everything. How do you switch that off and just get ready to calm down, even if it's for 5 hours?
Sometimes you don't, like, truthfully. And I think that, like, most people can understand this. When you're following your dreams and when you're doing something that you love as much as I love making movies, it's really hard to flip that switch.
I bet.
I've had late nights. I've had nights where I've been fully asleep and woken up by an idea. So it's like, it's really hard to flip that switch. But what's really cool about it is a lot of the times we don't want to flip that switch because when we walk off of set, or I don't know, it's hard to explain, but sometimes we don't want to flip off the switch because sometimes when we walk off the set, the life that we're living isn't nearly as spectacular as the life that we've created on set. Mm-hmm. For some people, I would imagine. But for me, the life that I'm living off set is just as spectacular as the life that I'm living on set. So flipping the switch off is hard sometimes, but also it's the easiest thing I'll ever do because it's like I'm not letting anything go. Like, I'm not losing happiness or success or love in any direction. Like, you know, you can work on a horror film, for example, and be so surrounded by gore and sadness and fear, and then you flip the switch and you go back to somebody who loves you so much and you could never imagine, you know, that love not existing in your life. So working on Interdimensional, because it was the story of our life and the story of our love, flipping the switch is so easy because I'm not really flipping a switch. I'm just kind of documenting what we've already done and what we will do. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Well, I guess my next question would be kind of, obviously, since Interdimensional is it was an integral part of who you are, and making this was a long time coming, like you said. But that being said, how is this project, Interdimensional, going to impact everything that you do in the future? Because obviously this, not that it's going to be hard to follow, but this is such a big movie. It's going to be, I know it's going to be one of those movies that people kind of come back to, even if it's like they need a reminder of everything that this movie has to offer. People are going to come back to it. Obviously it won an award for a reason. So how is this project going to impact what you're already planning to do in the future?
And that was, I think, that was one of the toughest things, was knowing that the minute that I released this, there would be such a high expectation for everything that I released after, which isn't a big deal. Like, I can write until my arm falls off. Truthfully, anybody that knows me knows that much. But I think that when you release something so pure and of the light, like Interdimensional, everything after that should also have that same feel. And that was the funnest challenge for me, and it will continue to be the funnest challenge of finding out how to write love and light into everything that I do, whether it's a comedy, whether it's a love story, whether it's a horror film. How do I bring light and love to this so that when you get up from your seat after seeing this movie, you feel inspired? And that's the goal. Interdimensional will inspire every generation. That's why it's such a good movie. It'll inspire every generation. Everybody is going to want to find their love. And if you sat down and you watched this movie, the good news is you're meant to find that love. You're going to find that love. And now that you've experienced seeing it, you'll know it when it comes. And so everything after Interdimensional, I think will be a little bit more lighthearted, thankfully. It'll be nice to kind of step back into fantasy, because Interdimensional is kind of so non-fiction-y, where it's like based off of true stories. It'll be nice to step back into fiction and create a different world rather than just write the world that I already live in.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of, obviously Interdimensional stems from something. Mm-hmm. You wrote it.
Yeah.
It obviously is very much, it's fictional to, I would say, most people.
Yeah.
But I would say a good majority of the people, it's very real.
Yeah.
Everything that happens in that movie.
I hope so.
I want to go back a little bit and kind of, I mean, anyone that does a quick little Google search can look up the small facts of how you kind of came to be.
Yeah.
But what really made you realize, and what sparked that motivation to write, to film, to create stuff as important as Interdimensional?
Inspiration is such a funny thing, and sometimes it can be a fickle thing for a lot of people. And it took me a while to really hone in on that inspiration. And it took me a while to understand that when you get inspired, you better do something about it. Mm-hmm. Because inspiration comes and goes. It's like a wave. And you really have to kind of catch it at that apex, because if you don't know when the next one is going to come. And I think that for me, I've been very grateful in this lifetime and gifted to have people go before me. You know, I have an older sister who went before me. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I got to kind of watch as she took every step. And then she kind of got into spirituality, and that made me want to get into it. And so after that, it was kind of like this. I've always watched movies and I've always watched TV, to the point where, like, my dad was yelling at me as a kid growing up, and he told me I was lazy most of my life because I would love to just sit on the couch and watch TV.
But you're doing your homework.
I'm studying baby. Babes. No, babes, I don't think you understand. I'm studying, right? I'm studying and I'm watching. What I found was you have 1.5 to 2 hours of somebody's attention. Think about that.
And
like when you go and
even less than that.
Right. And like, think about the fact that when you go into a movie theater and you sit down, you're watching that screen for 1.5 hours. And everything that you see, you're going to remember. That's how right? Like, that's what we do. We leave the theater and we talk about it. And then, you know, somebody will say, well, did you see that new movie that just came out? So for that 1.5 hours, I have your attention. And what I noticed was a lot of people had people's attention for 1.5 hours and they weren't saying shit. You know what I mean? Like, you have people's attention for 1.5 hours and you're not saying shit. I don't get up feeling inspired. I get up feeling so sad about my life. You know what I mean? Yes. So that's kind of where that came from. It's like, I want people to come in here and have 1.5 hours and then get up feeling like they can go conquer the world, because they can. I'm just telling you that you can. It's like I'm giving you permission to go follow the dream, because you can change the world. And so I think that that's where a lot of that inspiration peaked from. I think it came from this want to change people's lives and inspire them after the 1.5 hours was up. It's like I'm on a timer.
Well, I know it was kind of, obviously, how long ago was the premiere? It wasn't that long ago.
No, it was probably a couple months ago.
Yeah. So I know, because I got the invite, so I was there. It was there. It was a great movie. So
yes, ladies and gentlemen, he was there.
I was there. Sorry about it. I can't help it sometimes. I'm so sorry. But I just know that after seeing the movie, I just know, like, after the movie ended, there was the way it ended. It was just silent in the theater, but I don't think it was like obviously, I don't think it could ever be a bad silence, but it was just like everyone just had to sit there for a second and take everything that they just learned. Yeah. Not just watched, but learned. They had to take it all in. Yeah. Because of, it's, like I said, it's just such a big thing to put out there, because not a lot of people are ready to hear what's in that movie. So, obviously.
Yeah, we did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. that's cool to hear. And you're kind
of a bitch for it, so.
Oh, yeah. I try my best. No, yeah, that was a goal. We would want, a silent theater in the aspect of, like, we're processing what we just witnessed, and not in a bad way, but in a, oh my gosh, wow, Like, I want you to feel like you can never go back to that normal life.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're extraordinary. And I think everybody is. I just think a lot of us are so afraid to tap into that. And so Interdimensional was important in the fact of like, you know, obviously, spoiler alert, but like one of the things we talk about in Interdimensional is, you know, loving multiple people. Like, how is it possible that I can be in this relationship but feel like I'm supposed to be somewhere else with someone else? And I think that we as society see that as such a wrong thing, but like instinctively and spiritually, like your soul just craves love.
You're really sounding like Catherine off of Vampire Diaries.
I'm so sorry.
No, I love it.
I'm so sorry. Yes, obviously one of my favorite shows, but yeah. So I think that we crave love, and as Catherine Pierce would say, it's okay to love them both. It's okay. You're gonna love them both. Imagine, it'd be like, and as weird as this would sound, but it'd be like putting a bomb inside of you and it going off and you're trying to hold it in. Naturally, the bomb is going to explode, babe. You're going to be everywhere, right? That's what it feels like when we love, right? Like, love is that strong. It's that powerful. It's hard to contain it, is what I would say. And that's how I feel about my partner, right? Like, that's what it is. And that's why I gravitated towards her.
Well, she is. Listen, while you're gone, I already have some plans with her.
Yes.
She did invite me to come try some samples of her skincare stuff, so I will be doing that.
Yes, she's a lover.
So, well, yeah, I'm very excited to see whatever other project you have next. Like I said so many times before this, you're literally headed to Italy tomorrow for the Venice Film Festival.
Yeah.
So, my follow-up question would be: do you have something in the film festival, or are you just there to enjoy it?
I did they not send in the list of questions that you were not allowed to ask?
The film has been lost for that question.
I'll be talking to somebody about that. No, you know what? I am going to enjoy it. I am going to see the beautiful work of so many beautiful people, and I might not have a full film, but there might be a snippet of a film.
Do you go to things like that to find inspiration or to enjoy what drives and inspires others? Or both, I guess.
I think I go because it's my element and it's my world. And I've done a really, really good job of creating that world for myself. And that's usually why people find that I don't really see many people very often, is because I'm usually in my world. So I go there because it's just an extension of my world. And I've seen now more than ever that it's all lining up. It's all aligning. So the films that I get to see are just as inspiring as Interdimensional would be. So it inspires me. I can see what other people love. And then they have the Golden Lion Award. And, you know, that's going to be, that's just something that everybody would want to take home. You know, it says that your movie, above all other movies, it's that movie. And I have no doubt that Interdimensional is that movie, and it can be that movie, and it will be that movie. But it's nice to go see other people who work as hard as me release what they want. And I love to support that. I love to support anybody who follows their dream. So yeah. And I'm in Venice, so I can't complain.
Jealous.
Yeah.
Jealous.
I get it.
Well, that's kind of all the questions I have, but I did want to kind of wrap this whole thing up by maybe getting a little glimpse of what you might have coming in the future. Who you like to, can you name people you're working with? I guess just give the bitches what they want. We're the bitches.
Okay. I was just double checking.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you know, I always have something up my sleeve. That's never going to be a problem. I'll always be working on something. Something I'm really excited about is working with Renee Rapp.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Renee Rapp and Dakota Johnson.
What a duo.
Yeah, honestly. Yes. Maddie Ziegler and Jenna Ortega. So I got some aces up my sleeve.
Got some tricks up your sleeve. I see.
Oh, I'll always have a trick up my sleeve.
So are those all like going to be in the same movie, or we just have to wait and find out?
I think you might just have to wait and find out. But the good news is you always get you get to come to the premiere anyway, so you get to know before most people do.
Okay, well, yeah, that doesn't make me feel very good because they still have to wait.
That is true. Your patience is really going to be tested.
But I do live off of not wanting to be spoiled, so I don't want spoiler alerts. But anyways, before we sign off, I want you to plug anything you want to plug besides Interdimensional. If you haven't, just go watch it, please.
Yeah. Just be on the lookout. Love Lord Legacy Studios is a big deal, and it's got some pretty good things, and it'll continue to have pretty good things, and it'll continue to work with pretty great people. And go watch Interdimensional if you haven't seen it or heard about it, and hopefully we didn't spoil anything for you.
I hope we did.
I'm so sorry for his behavior. Hopefully we didn't spoil anything for you, but Interdimensional, definitely go check it out, and I'm excited for you to see Tainted.
Okay, so there was more that you just kept in for what?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry about it.
Well, whatever. Well, I thank you again
of course.
for being here today. I hope you have the best time with your sister in Italy.
I
hope you find everything that you need there, and hope everyone watching take one thing. I know there's a lot to take from, but take one thing out of this podcast.
Yes.
Take a lot of things from Interdimensional, and she'll be back. Don't worry.
Just gonna say hi to my partner for me, if you will.
Hey.